So this is a really simple recipe. It's going to take 35 to 45 minutes. It's literally cut up some potatoes, red onion, apple, mix your tray bake mix, and 2 pork loins, and then it's in the oven. Preheat your oven at 180 degrees, and while that's heating, you want to take your Charlotte potatoes and just cut them straight down the middle in half. Add these into a roasting tray, skin side up. So what we're going to do with these potatoes is just going to sprinkle some olive oil on them, some seasoning. We're going to place these in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes until they're lovely and golden brown. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to quarter a red onion. So just peel that down, take the skin off, leaving the root on, because we want the root to hold the quarter of the onions together, and just trim the root very slightly. Okay, with the red onion, we're going to cut it in quarters. The great thing about red onions is when they roast in is the colour and the sweetness that comes through from them. Now you can cut this down further if you wish, but first off, we'll cut it into quarters. I'm just going to take the core out, place that in my bowl. The reason for me leaving the skin on is because I want that colour in the dish as well, and I want the apple to hold together slightly so it doesn't break down. So I've left the skin on. It's a nice rustic dish, nice bake. So then we're going to add half of our apple sage shallot jar to our apples and onion. So I've only added half the jar to my apples and onions. Put the lid back on, put this in the fridge, and it'll last up to 28 days. So to my apples and onion and mix, I'm going to add my pork loin, place those on top, and then just mix them all together. What's lovely about these jars and the flavours you get from it is the herbs from the sage. You've got Bramley apples in there from the acidity from that to go into your pork. So now we're going to add this to our roasted Charlotte potatoes. As you can see, you've got lovely colour on there, both sides now. So we're just going to add our pork, apple and red onion to that. So crimp that down really nice and tight so you steam all those flavours into the pork and into the apples and potatoes. Place that in the oven at 180 degrees again for 8 to 10 minutes. After 8 to 10 minutes, remove your pork. We're just going to take the tin foil off, then pop it back into the oven for 5 to 8 minutes. When you take your tin foil off, you'll smell all those flavours starting to work. The apple, the sage, the red onion, the shallots, and you can see all those juices starting to come out of the onions and apples there. So place that back in the oven 5 to 8 minutes. So after 5 or 8 minutes, I'm going to take that out of the oven. When I plate food, I like to put all the ingredients at the bottom with the pork or chicken or salmon on top, so you get some height on your plates. So it looks more like restaurant food than just dishing it up at home. And then just going to place the pork on top of the apples and potatoes and red onions, and then tipping the pan up and scrape all those juices down to the bottom, and then just pour a spoonful of that over the pork. And then just to finish it, I'm going to add some chopped parsley. I'm not going to chop it fine, I'm just going to have it quite rustic. Just take the leaves, scrunch them up into a ball, and just roughly take your knife through them, taking out any stalks that are in there. And then just a sprinkle of parsley over the top of the pork, potatoes and red onion. And what we recommend serving with this is this lovely Garganega Pinot Grigio. And there you have a really simple, delicious apple, sage, shallot, pork, roast potato and red onion bake.